Hey, everybody, Mr. Engen here. We're going to talk about the MCA tests. We're going to talk about what it stands for, what's on the test. If I can get this going. There we go. All right. Mathematics, splat, right in the middle, MCA. Something that's been going on for many years. And as we all know, it's talked about a great deal. So, what is on the test? Well, everybody, there's a set of math standards and benchmarks, which are important math concepts students learn about in each grade level. Benchmarks are broken up into different disciplines of mathematics as follows: number and operation, algebra, geometry and measurement, data analysis, and probability. Different concepts are then separated and put into each of those components. And you students, you all get scores in these different areas of math. What's on the test? I like this picture because it has a lot of fish, and it looks like it goes on forever, and math goes on forever. So it's fantastic. And as I said, we have these main components. I said this already, but these are the things that we really look at when we break apart math, and we can see where students excel, and we can see where maybe there's some areas where we need a little bit more support. Why do we take this test? Right? People always say, why do we take this? I understand it, kids. You want to know why, right? Because people say it doesn't affect my grade. Why do I do this? Well, data is a big word. Data is basically, it helps us support you. It helps us know where you need support and helps us identify where you're doing really well. So you students, if you're excelling above and beyond these benchmarks, we can place you as well in a more challenging environment. So it helps us see if, maybe we need to push you and put you in a different place. So in terms of like your placement in classes, this data and this score helps us do that. If students are scoring below average, they can receive additional support, such as, for example, math lab or math intervention, some kind of supplemental classes that allow you to get some extra practice. And if you're struggling in a particular strand, for example, like if you're maybe of those, maybe number sense is something like that's one particular component of math. Maybe number sense is something where you scored a little low. And so it helps guide instruction from teachers, where teachers can maybe suggest the students work independently on those certain benchmarks through programs such as iExcel or Study Island or some other online platforms where you can get some additional practice to improve in that area. Why should you do your best? Well, you should always do your best. You should do your best in anything that you do, right? Otherwise, you're just cheating yourself. But again, it's important that you do your best so that your result is accurate, because whether or not we want to place you in a higher level math or get you extra support, again, we use that for the best interest of you students. We want to try to support you and make sure that you are placed in the appropriate level of mathematics so you can be challenged or be supported. So bottom line is just do your best. Don't worry about being perfect, but care. If you go into it and you care, you're going to be in a good place, right? Just do the best that you actually can so that score represents that effort. Pros and cons of the MCA tests. Well, the pros are, as I kind of mentioned, was it informs the students and the parents of where you guys are in terms of mastery of the curriculum. So if you're above average or at average, this is good to know. It's good to know if there's any trends in your scores of these tests, but for the overall curriculum that we use for that grade level, we know where you're at, and that's good to know. It allows for accurate placement of students in the right math classes. It gives consistent curriculum as well. So if you're in Minnesota and you move to a different school, for example, we have Minnesota standards. So even if you go somewhere else, they're going to be focusing on the same concepts, the same units. So that creates some consistency, which is good as well. And there's some cohesiveness when students, make those switches. And again, it informs students of areas that you need additional support. Now, there are cons, and I understand that. I know that MCA testing creates a lot of anxiety. People get really worked up, especially if you have anxiety, and that can make a big impact on your placement. It takes a lot of time to prepare for, doing the practice tests, doing the reviews. It takes a lot of time for us to, we go through quite a lengthy process to do those things. And some students aren't good test takers, and we know that, and we understand that. So the teachers have to fit in a lot of curriculum as well, and that's the challenge, right? Because we have to fit in a lot of things. But um, and I thought about this, but it makes planning the year around a test versus planning around student needs. And we know that, I've thought a lot about that. And because we plan around a test versus students, I don't think that that's necessarily always good, but we do our best to adjust and to meet the needs that you guys have. So um, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, we just hope that you do the best you can. Thanks. I don't know if I stopped it. Okay.